Is your data as secure in the cloud as it is in your traditional environment? What security related things should you consider before migrating to cloud services? Who is responsible for your data if it's stolen while in the cloud? Let's answer all these questions now, and then I'll show you what it looks like to move something from a local location to a cloud location. Let's cloud. Currently, 90% of all companies are using cloud services in one way or another. Cisco predicts that 94% of compute workloads will be processed in cloud data centers by the end of 2021. In 2019, the US spent a staggering $124 billion on cloud computing. That's more than twice the next 4 countries combined, which includes China, Germany, the UK, and Japan, all coming in at about $10 billion each. With this rapid migration, there's bound to be some security issues. One of the biggest questions that comes to mind with cloud services is who is responsible for securing the data once it's in the cloud. Well, the short answer is you are. If it's your data, you are still ultimately responsible for it. Imagine you're my bank and you have my data. I've entrusted my data with you. If you then move that data to a cloud service provider and then later suffer a data breach due to negligence on the part of the cloud service provider, my legal response is still going to primarily be against you. This is because my contract is with you, not your cloud service provider. And also, I didn't have any vote in whether or not you move my data to a cloud service provider. So make no mistake about it. Moving your data to the cloud does not magically absolve you from the responsibility to secure that data. Another common question is, will all my existing security controls and implementations transfer? Well, the answer to this is sometimes they will and sometimes you'll need to innovate new controls. But you must also consider whether or not the existing controls, even if transferred, will be sufficient for the cloud environment. Just because those controls work for local data centers, which are largely segmented off from the rest of the world, doesn't mean they're sufficient in a public cloud or a hybrid cloud model, for example. Oftentimes, this migration will require a completely new architecture and design, and your network security engineers have to quickly become cloud security engineers. Let me demonstrate what that looks like to do a basic data migration from a local device to cloud technology. I've got a file here on my local machine that I'm going to take and move up to a cloud service and make it available to anyone who has internet access. Let's go ahead and look on my desktop here. We can see that I have this file named Keatron Evans, and it's simply an image of me when I was 2 years old. So this thing is only available to anyone that gets onto my laptop right now. It's not available out on the public. The only way to get to it is via my laptop. So what I'm going to do here is migrate this file up to the internet via cloud services and make it available to anyone that wants to actually see it. So for example, I'm going to go over to my Amazon account here, go to my S3 buckets. These are like just containers. I'm going to pick a specific one and I'm going to then say upload. Going to go grab that specific file off my local machine, and then I'm going to upload it to Amazon S3. So as a result of this now, what ends up happening is this file is now not only on my local machine, but it's also up in the cloud at this point. It's up where other people can access it if I give the world access to it, which I'm about to do now. So the next step is I simply need to go to that file, click the button that says make public. And what ends up happening as a result of that is this URL is a world browsable URL now. So anyone in the world that I send to this URL is going to be able to view and even download that picture. So we'll just copy the link here, visit the link, and as you can see, this picture is actually publicly available. And I'll leave this up. So if you're watching this now, go ahead and visit that URL and you'll see this picture pop up. This is what it looks like to take a file local that's only available locally and then move it to a service like Amazon S3 to make it available to anyone in the world. And that is the value of cloud services.